My son, Ben Blodgett, is a landscape architect by training, and he has worked in the lawn and yard care business for several years, and he comes over and helps me once in a while. And today he walked me around my yard and taught me a lot about the grasses that are in it. There are lots of different types of grasses. Some of them are good for some lawns and not for other lawns, and some are weeds. Ben is here to tell me some about that today.
Crabgrass tends to come up wherever the grass is thinner or there's drought issues, and it will fill in and choke out the other grass that's there. And it tends to be softer, fuzzier looking, and after it gets a little bigger it starts to be flatter a lot of the time, especially around here, and prevents the good grass from coming back. Another kind of crabgrass that I don't see here that is non-clumping, and it would just be spread throughout the regular grass.
Well, I had a big weed there, so that's one reason that crabgrass is there like that.
I can't say for sure if it is bent grass or carpet grass. They're very similar. I think this one might be carpet grass, but it grows really flat. It falls over on top of the other grasses next to it and chokes them out. And it just spreads out in kind of circle patches and tends to look really discolored in the lawn. It seems to like it when the ground is a little bit moister, so if you don't water as often, but you water deeper, you'll probably have less problems with it.
And this is the type of grass they tend to use in golf courses?
Well, the other one, the bent grass, is used in golf course greens because it can be mown really short, and it's very similar.
So can you point out the line between my grass and the...
So this right here is the line between the yards, and you can see it's creeping over a little bit, but this tougher fescue mix in this lawn seems to do a pretty good job of keeping it from coming over. But the grass over in this yard is pretty much all Kentucky bluegrass.
Thanks, this is quack grass. We're going to move on to a better patch of that in just a moment.
From what I can tell, the easiest way to tell the fescue apart from the quack grass is that the blades are shinier. They're also a little bit wider, and they don't get as tall quite as fast, it seems like.
As the quack grass?
As the quack grass, yeah. It still grows faster than the bluegrass.
The fescue grows faster than the bluegrass?
Yeah. So this is Poa annua. It's an annual bluegrass, and it just comes up anywhere there's bare ground pretty much, although it's not quite as drought resistant as some stuff. But it just doesn't look good because it'll die out early in the year and be patchy looking, and it can spread over your good grass. Okay, so this is the quack grass, another example of it. It's not a very thick grass. It doesn't grow densely, but it spreads inside of everything else. It sends running roots under the ground, and they'll pop up as they go all over the place. So you can see it's just kind of filtered throughout here. It really gets into flower beds a lot, and it's hard to get it out of the middle of plants that are thick because you have to lift them up and pull it out, and usually you leave roots behind, so it takes a while to get there. Oh yeah, see? It's coming in underneath into the flower beds.
That's the quack grass?
It just likes to break off.
I usually get a spading something.
But you can see it sends these runners, long runners.
The whole bed here used to be filled with it, and I have just been weeding it regularly, so it can be kept under control some.
Yeah, and if you weed it for a season,
and
you keep it down, you get it pretty well eradicated.
Okay.
One of the key things for keeping the unwanted grasses out of the lawn is to keep the grass that you have very healthy. So that means watering it about half an inch of water, maybe twice a week, watering it deep, not watering it constantly, unless you have a soil that drains too fast for that. And, of course, fertilizing to keep it thick.
Thank you, Ben. So I inherited the grass in my yard. It was planted before I moved in, and it seems like in the shady areas or in the areas behind the house where they were going to be walking along a lot, they planted Kentucky bluegrass. But out in the front where they wouldn't be, or out in the back where it gets a lot of sun, harsh sun all the time, they planted the mix that probably has fescue in it. So out here where it gets a lot more sun is where it's a mix of fescue and other hardier grasses.